Hello students, welcome to lecture 11. In lecture 11, we will be discussing about research paper reading. So in this lecture, we will see the structure of our research paper, and along with this, we will read a research paper, not very thoroughly, but we will match the presented structure and real research paper structure. And in this way, maybe we will be able to have a hands-on experience in research paper reading, and also we will gather knowledge of how to write a research paper also. So here's the agendas. uh, there are title and author's information of a research paper, abstract, introduction, background study, proposed method, results and analysis, conclusion, and future directions and references. So these are the all parts. This list contains the whole parts of basic research paper or a simple research paper. Most of the research paper, almost all of the research paper, have this kind of sections in it. So basically we will thoroughly discuss the structures and also these sections, of what are the contents of these sections we will discuss in today's lecture. So at first, the first thing we will see in a research paper is a title, and just following the title, the author's information are listed in a research paper. If we title needs to express the main concept of the paper. So whatever the title is, it should contain the main concept of the research paper. That means the problem we are trying to solve, the solution of the problem, and how we solve the problem, that should be presented in the title in a precise manner. The title should not be long, more than 2 lines, but it is better if the title is only one line length. So a title must be short, and then following the title we will see the author's information. That means at first we will see the name of the authors, and following that name, there will be placed the current affiliation of the author. That means affiliation means under which institutions the research has been done, or authors is working for which institution and doing his or her research. So affiliations contains university name, department name. If the author is working in a university, working for a university, if author works in an industry, then the affiliation will be industry name, and then he will write his email address, or that means a way how we can communicate with him or her. Uh, but sometimes some authors write their designation or degree, but it is not a good pattern of writing, or it is not a good format of a research paper. So no designation or degree should be written in a research paper. So if I see uh, the discussing paper, uh, that means we are discussing, currently we are working on a paper, or we will try to read a paper in today's class. So here the front page of the research paper contains the title of the problem, or a title of the research paper that we will be discussing. So the title is OOP net, and there is a colon. That means it is the short name of the work. It is a short name, and the name is kind of elaborated in the following sentence. That is an object-oriented EPA net in Python. So if I deeply follow this name, it contains the short form of this whole sentence. That means object-oriented programming, or EEP, OOP, and from this EEP the author updated. EEP net is a software. So he took this net this portion, this half portion of this EEP-net, that means a software that is updated in this paper, and also the method he was following. So the short name contains the whole names of the title. So there are two parts: object-oriented programming, and there is a EEP-net software. So it took the he took the net from this line. So the short form of the work is or the software developed by the author is OOP net. So this contains the whole title, and from this title we can understand that we are going to face a object-oriented programming based EEP-NET's updated software, and the object-oriented programming has been done in Python. It contains the whole concept of the paper. The title should contain the whole concept of the paper. Then the paper contains the author's information. And you see, the first name is in a short form. This is the first letter of the first name. So each author has two parts in his names. One is first name and one is last name. First name, we did not write first name in the research paper. It is the convention. We do not write the first name. We only write the first letter of the first name and last name properly. And there is a that means A is in a superscript. That means here there is a that means it is linked to this institution. So the author is linked to this institution, and there is another A. That means this author also worked for this same institution. So then the institution name, and it is the department name. So both of the author worked for the same department, and this is the institution name, and there is the address of that institution. So the author's university name or the author's university email address, sorry, the author's university email address is listed here. It is your choice whether you want to use your university email address or any personal email address. It is not mandatory that you have to use university email address. The corresponding author is David, so his email address is written in the lower portion, and there is a star marks. That star marks, that means corresponding author's indication. This star marks is located linked to this author. That means A star. That means this author is a corresponding author. This author was the corresponding author of this paper. So here, so now go to come to the next portion of the paper. That means abstract. So abstracts contains the summary of the paper. Sometimes we do not have enough time to read the whole paper. In that case, we read the summary of the paper in the abstract section. That means abstract must contain all the gist, the complete gist of the research paper. So when someone read the if someone read the abstract, so he must have all the information from this abstract. So abstract contains the proposed method, not thoroughly, but a little bit. So abstract needs to be clear, very clear. Also, abstract must contain the findings of the research paper. So if someone read the research paper and he do not understand why the author has written this paper, because there is no contribution written on the abstract portion, so other readers will be confused. So abstract must contain the findings of the author in that research paper. So, but abstract should not be very long. All this information should be contained in the abstract, but it is in a concise manner. So abstract must be short and informative. That means most research paper format provide this instruction that within 150 to 200 words abstract should be written. After the abstract section, there is a little portion that is called keyword. Keyword help us to find the paper in search. That means whatever the keyword what keywords are listed in this paper, when some readers search for any paper. If any of the keyword matched with the searching word, then this paper appeared in the search list. So if I move to the our discussed paper, so if I move to the this our uh, current paper. So here there is an abstract, and this abstract introduces us the basic concept of this paper. This paper is discussing about the OPNet and how OPNet came and why OPNet came, what was the previous problem of not using OPNet, and how the problem is resolved in this paper is listed in this section. So you should write thoroughly, but I am just giving you a brief idea. So after this section, there are some others supplementary information, that is how when the paper is published, and what we who is the publisher. These informations are written here, and under which publication access it is written. The license name is also written here. There are several kinds of license to publish our research paper, and I'm not going to discuss about those publishing accessibility, or the license, or the uh, any other legal issues. So I'm just skipping that. So these are the keyword section. There are some keywords. Water distribution, that means this paper is a very basic, or a very sorry a goal, or why we are writing this paper is, so we are solving a problem that is related to water distribution, so it is our keyword. So again, there is another keyword, parallel distributing, computing. So here we using parallel computing, the concept of this paper based on parallel computing. So this is also a keyword. There is another keyword, open source project. This EPNet is an open source software. So this OPNet is also open source, and it is found. It will be found in internet. So if you search and if you try to download and use it again, or update that open source, open source project can be updated by many programmers. So that this this updated packages could help the other users or other programmers. So this is how our open source project is gradually updated. So this is our open source software. So it is also a keyword. And a simulation software, Python is used here, a simulation software. And also this final outcome, that means OPNet, is also a simulation software for water distribution. And here a genetic algorithm is used inside the object-oriented programming, and then optimization. So here the researchers uh, optimized problem, or updated gave us a updated solution of EPNet. So here they optimized. So these are the keywords. When someone, any reader, search anything or find any paper, and these keywords matched with that searching string, then the paper will appear to the search list. Then the next part is introduction. So move to our presentation. So after that, in the introduction, we will find some introductory discussion on the topic. Because if I am reading the first, this is my first paper on the water distribution topic. So how we will be able to know the basic of water distribution. So for this reason, some introductory discussion on the topic is added in the introduction section. After that, inside the introductory discussion, we will find some basic definitions of related topic. That means why water distribution is needed, and how the water distribution is done, and what are the conventional procedures, or what are the conventional softwares that are being used in water distribution problem solving, and what are the current problems that we are going to solve. So these informations are listed in the introduction part. And then background study. In the background study, the name mentions that we have to search in some background. So what the previous researchers did. So this section describes the previous works related to the topic. Of course, it should be related to the topic because there are so many works done, so many research done in the research field on the water distribution facts. But I have to go through, or I have to focus on the issue that I am trying to deal with. So, of course, the previous paper need to be related to the current topic that we are discussing. So, in background study background study mentions the limitations of the previous works. When we are discussing the related works, at the same time we have to discuss their positive and negative facts of that related works. So every work has some limitations. So a researcher have to be very analytical when they are trying to when he try to find the limitations of others works. So it is not forceful that I have to find the limitations of others, find faults in others works, but sometimes there are some positive things in others works that we must follow, or we can mention that. So not only limitations, we can also mention their positive thinking or positive aspects or positive outcomes in the previous papers. Point out the proposed work to improve the limitations. If some limitations has been discussed in the background study, of course there must be some limitations that I am going to I am trying to solve by my proposed method. So of course there are some limitations in others work. So I have to point out how my proposed work is going to improve the limitations. So my goal is to improve the current problem or improve the current limitations. So I have to make a link how I am going to not very thoroughly, but I have to mention a little bit how my proposed work is going to improve the current situation or solve the current problem. Here in my discussed paper, in introduction, they provide us some introductory idea why people are using EPA-NET, and what is the problem. There is a problem. Some developer has give some packages, has updated some packages that uses C++, C Sharp, Java. Most of the users do not understand C++, C Sharp, Java. So there is a necessary to make it in a different language that is more easier to the users and how easy to deal with. The author thinks that Python is better than these previous conventional languages, and also Python will give some benefit to the users when they are deal with this EEP-NET. So that is why Python is used, and also they write some facilities of Python. Why they choose Python in the introduction section. After that, also they did not use any background study because in the introduction section they already mentioned some references where other developers provide solutions of EEP-NET or updated some packages of EEP-NET. That is why they did not mention separately in the background study section. Rather than that, they mention the benefit of Python in this section. Why Python? That means in this section they mention thoroughly why they choose Python instead of other languages. What is the benefit of Python over other languages? After that, they move to the program design. This is basically our proposed method. That means the author's proposed method. The name could be different in different aspects or different for two different authors. But the thing is, in chapter 3 or in section 3, they mention their proposed design. So I'm going to the presentation. So here in the background study, They discussed the previous related works. Actually, in our current paper, they discussed it in the introduction section and mention some limitations and point out how they are going to solve the limitations. And then in proposed method, sometimes in some paper they are in the form of a proposed framework or proposed system. Keyword must be different, but the thing is, in chapters in section 3, most of the authors will write their proposed method. So they explain their proposed method by figure and description. Sometimes we need to use figure to make it better understandable, and also they use description of their figure. So a figure can represent more than a description. So they use figure. Uh, Figure should be designed such a way that means figure should represent all the facts or most of the difficult facts to us. So it is better to describe the modules or parts in different section in an organized way. So that means proposed method proposed method may have multiple subsections. So so that we can separately understand what are the modules, and each module is discussed more thoroughly uh, in the subsections. So if I move to the current paper, what the author did here, they provide a general structure how the OOP-net is working. So here a figure OOP-net package structure, respectively workflow of the user. So how the user will work using OOP-net is given here. So here there are some basic modules. This is not very deep, but as slightly touch. Here this round shape circle it means that object. This box shape or rectangle shape box is mentioned that this is package, and this dotted shape box is function. So here the author tried to mention us how the OOP is related to our project. So they give a structure of in the concept of OOP, not in our proposed method. Our proposed module is shown in later figures. Here are the figures of our proposed module. So there are various modules. They are drawn here. Um, of course, they are based on class structure, and these modules are discussed thoroughly part by part in other subsections. That is, here junction module is represented uh, by this figure 5, and here network module is discussed. That means they used different portions to discuss their sub modules or modules. So if I move to the first figure, here authors tried to show us how object-oriented is related to our system. So here this is a object that means this is the input. This object is used for taking input. We are taking here EPNet input files. So if I do some analysis, I have to take some data input. So EPNet input file is an object here, and this this box means this is a function. So this is a method. In this method there are some special attributes as readers, elements, and graph. This is the read function. So the when the input is read by this module, after that it passed to the network function. So in network function they have some analysis. They do some analysis by plotting graphs of that network, and for this reason they uses some other modules. These are by default modules of already developed module of Python. This is called pyplot and bokeh. You if you search, sometimes you will face that some terminologies are not familiar to you because you are reading this is your first research paper. Suppose this is your first research paper on this topic, so you have to search a lot such a lot of terms in the on the Google. So when for example, I do not familiar with bokeh, so I searched I search on Google that what is the meaning of bouquet. So I found that this package is utilized in data analysis or data representation. So that is how Python is sorry, PyPlot is related to bouquet. So these are the similar, most of the case similar modules used in Python for data representation. So here Python data frame. So Python data frame is the whole content that we take input from EPA net input file, and it is considered as a data frame. That means in simply it is a table. It is a table. Data is represented in the form of a table. So it is called data frame in Python. So this data frame is taken as an object, this is the modules that will help to represent the data frame in the network format, and give us some insight of that network. So what are the insight we will see later. And here the run function, run method has different attributes. Writer, simulator, sorry, they are not attributed, they are package. So this package help us to do some work by default. That is the facility of using Python has several packages developed by various researchers. So these packages help us to do some simulations or make reports. That is the facility of by default using packages, by default default packages or already developed packages. So here they give us a screenshot of their code, but this is not the all. There I guess there are more coding inside the package or inside the object-oriented modules. So they give us a simple example, and also they discussed whatever they are showing us. They discussed in somewhere. Uh, so I'm not going to read all these contents. How the code works they discuss there. And later uh, they give us a whole concept, whole idea, whole diagram of the elements or packages or class structure of OOPNet. Here, if you have to be very careful when we analyze this kind of modules. You have to visit those links or carefully observe these links, how they are related to each module or each functionalities. So this figure will give us a good idea about the work, how they are related. The information is written also in the description text, but it is not enough. The figure give us more insight about the work. So you have to follow the figure. I am not going to discuss all of this, but you see a figure represents better than a description. Here, using a green box, they represents network components. Using a yellow box, they represent system operation. Uh, then there are using this arrow, they represent a child. That means if I give a little touch on this, a network component has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 other modules. That means network is a module and they have child, because there is an arrow. There is an arrow. If network is a base class, network component is a base class, these modules are extended subclasses, that means childs. So this arrow means they are child. So this is a module, and also they are related to other operations. So you have to follow the direction or the links, which portion is connected to other portions. This give you an idea how the water distribution has been done. And also there is a question in the term paper, you have to draw your own water distribution system for WASA. So you have to follow this structure very carefully. And also uh, they extended their each modules, and also discuss inside structure of this each module. That means junction module, network module. They try to show us how the object-oriented programming they used to design that modules. These are this is their network modules. Here in network modules they have various components, that's pumps, tanks, junctions. So here is the realisticism that they use. You have to also design your own realistic structure, network structure, or the whole structure, and you have to follow how they design their own, and you have to do your own. Now this is the data representation parts. They provide their results in this data distribution. I found that they did not mention how the colors works. So that means I did not understand, because I did not thoroughly read the paper. But you have to read the paper and find. I hope that you will find this plotting helpful. But I did not understand what they trying to mention here. Basically, they try to mention the junctions or the water distribution, but they did not. It will be better if they mention the what is the meaning of that, those colors, red, yellow, then green, blue. They did not mention that color in this plotting. But if you do in real life, you will see that when you plot something, you have to mention what are the labels here. So what the red color means, what the blue or yellow means. So I found it difficult to understand the figure, but you have to try by your own. Maybe in text section they write something. So here they use their water distribution via example. This is a case study. They use their module in somewhere, and also they follow the results, how the results works. And they also they also have written a collaboration section. That means, as it is an open source project, so if you try to collaborate them, you can update their open source. They provide a link, GitHub link, where you will find the code, and you can try to update that project by using more packages or more functionalities. Then there is a summary section. uh, Maybe the summary section is the concluding section, uh, because in the conclusion we summarize our findings, or what we have proposed, or what is the limitations, or what is the future direction. So we summarize those things. So if I move back to the presentation, so here result analysis section, they provide their network representation. So the graph that we have discussed, the graph represents us the network distribution. So whatever you did, you have to do some analysis. So you have to do some plotting, uh, data analysis. So data analysis present us very insightful stuffs that is not that we do not realize in a practical sense. But if we analyze the data, it gives us some insightful stuff. So here, the result analysis section. Result analysis contains the findings that need to be expressed with experimental results. So whatever the findings you got, you have to express with experimental results. But here they express very little experimental results. So a result analysis must reply the research questions mentioned in the previous section. That means whatever you find, that should be aligned with your problem area. So you have a problem area that you are trying to solve, and also your results must be aligned with that problem. That means you find the result section helpful to solve the problem. That means you successfully able to solve the problem. Then research data needs proper visualization. That means you find some research data, and by plotting or showing any graph, yeah, you just show us how the data you got and how the result you got. And then in conclusion section and future directions, you will conclude the paper and mention what the author seek for, and what they find. In short, that means what they are trying to solve and what they got, that must be aligned, and also written in the conclusion section. And most importantly, they show the future directions. Maybe every author has some limitations in their works, and they give us directions that how they will they will find a solution of their limitations in their future works. Or we also can work on that limitations, and following their future directions, we can also start working on their paper. That's it. And then in last portion, there is a reference section. There are two types of reference. One is in text citation, and the other is reference list citation. So let's see what is the citation here. When we read the paper, we find that I took a screenshot here from the I took this in-text citation from the introduction chapter, introduction section. Introduction section, there is a this kind of citation, this kind of citation here. You see in bracket there is 2 and 2 comma 3. That means they mention some number. What are the numbers they mention? They are the they are the papers listed in the citation. In references citation, we can see in number 2 and 3, 2 papers are listed here. So in the in-text citation, they mention these two papers in 2 comma 3 portion. Sometimes they also can write single citation, that means one only or two only or three only, but here they mention two papers at a time, so they are called in-text citations. So if I move to the present move to the real paper, we can see in the reference section there are some papers. There are 20 papers they have listed. So if I took number 1, if I took number 2 and 3, as I mentioned you, number 2 and 3, I move to the number 2 and 3. Here number 2 and 3 has been mentioned. That means this portion before this 2 and 3, this portion is taken from that paper. So if I took another example, there is the 11, number 11. That means 11. I have to move to the 11 number paper. So bouquet, the definition or the information of bouquet is written in number 11. So if I move to the number 11, here bouquet documentation online. That means there is an online link that way. If I move to this online link, we will got information. We will get information from information of bouquet. So they help us. This citation help us to understand or to help us to read the content from where they write this paper. So that's it. So that's it. uh, uh, Reference, there are two types of reference. One is in-text citation and another is reference list citation. This citation also have some types. So every paper has in paper format they mention that what type of reference they are demanding. So there are various type of reference. I am not going to discuss all these reference types. So there is a structure of reference. You see in structure, the first name will be listed first, and there is there is a paper name and also a paper link sometimes. So how to relate the reference with the paper. So I guess I have already discussed how the reference is related to the paper. So that's it for today's class. I hope you understand what I am talking about, and also I hope that you will read the paper at home and also find answer of the term papers. Thank you for listening.